Come on. We're gonna freaking live stream now. Who's that? Who is that? Oh, that's me. Who's that? That means my watch page is working correctly. All right. So right out of the gate, we have a super chat coming in. And I'm going to go ahead and post it on the screen. It's a good one. Before the stream even started, my man with a 420 donation says, "Was it?" Up. Sorry, got stuck. That happens. I'm full of nanobots, you see. I'm one of them what you call zombie hybrid nanobots from China. I'm almost human, though. Still working out the bugs. Just kidding. Or am I? Woo! I also have another super chat coming in. All right, got another super chat from PJ CNet. Says, here's another thanks in advance for the stream. 2 super chats coming in before I even start the stream. Guess I should have never started the stream, huh? Then I would just keep getting super chats for the stream that I just don't do. Or do I? I do. All right. All right, I'm ready to have a fun day. I figured we would just do a chat stream today. I got a couple videos for you, but mostly I wanted to do a chat stream because I noticed that I'm always showing videos and always talking, and I haven't done a stream lately where we just chit chat about this, that. So I figured we would do that tonight. One of those old school ones where I read a lot of comments and react to you guys. I got a few video clips, but tonight, like I said, I wanted to get back in touch with you guys. And I don't have anything juicy or dramatic so much tonight. I figured we would just have a fun Friday. That's what I was looking for. All right, so thanks PJ CNet for your donation as well. All right, we got Faith in the house. She says celebrate the times. All right. Rose Bellman here, another one of my beautiful mods here. She says, hello, Jake and everyone. Hello there, Rose. All right. Who else is in chat? Oh, got another beautiful mod of mine. Shaylin here says, hi, Jake. Hello, Shay. Got a super chat donation coming in. It's a super sticker. I have to go to the watch page to see what it is. It's a game controller. Thank you for that game controller. I appreciate that. All right. Cool, cool. Good times. G Heart says, hey, bro. Hot POS says, what's Not going to do that again. Almost got stuck twice. That time I stopped myself. Dominic says, Jake live is uncanny. That's right. This is the best live experience on YouTube. It's off the cusp, off the cuff, off the cuffs, right? Shooting from the hip, right? There's no cue cards, no rehearsed lines, all just whatever I feel like doing. I got a couple videos. Other than that, it's all just going to be made up off the top of my head. All right. Shay's already laughing and loving it. It's good. Miss Anthropic here says, hey, y'all. Roberto Sanchez says, SciManDan said he could debate you into the globe. No, he could not. SciManDan is a shill channel, and he's handled, and he has written lines, and he doesn't do anything off the cuff, off the cusp, off the cusp. He doesn't do any of that. He's told what to do and told what to say. And then he does a commercial for Raycon earbuds in the middle of his shit about me. And then he doesn't go on to debunk me ever. You know, like that one time he said that that astronaut was putting something away, and then I showed that there was nothing in the astronaut's hands. You know, like that time, and basically every other time. Like when I destroyed the blue marble, and then he's like, no, it's a matter of perspective. It's like, oh, that's funny. If a flat earther says perspective, globies throw a fit. But then a globie gets to tell a flat earther it's about perspective. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, SciManDan is the answer to guys like me. They want to influence popular opinion, or make it look like they're influencing popular opinion about guys doing and saying what I'm saying, because SciManDan, he knows science so much. What was funny is, like, he did a video where he said Neil deGrasse Tyson is wrong about not being able to see the curvature when you go up in a plane and stuff. And so Neil deGrasse says you can't see the curvature until you're like, I forget the exact number, but over like 100,000 feet high or something. And that's when you can finally start to see the curve. And SciManDan's like, oh, sorry, Neil, you're actually wrong on this one. It's actually 30,000 feet. So he said it was 30,000 feet that you can start to see the curve. So apparently SciManDan knows better than Neil deGrasse. Yeah. They can't quite get their shit together. What's funny is Neil deGrasse is supposed to be like a, what is he, an astrophysicist or whatever made up label he has. SciManDan doesn't even have any of that pretend credentials or qualifications. He's just a snarky asshole online without any talent, being handed lines to read and then a commercial to perform. Oh boy. Faith said, SciManDan can't handle debate with me. Jake would make him shit himself. Well, he would never come on as a man and just talk to me like a man, right? He wouldn't. And when was the last time he like acted like a human? You can tell he's reading a teleprompter. At least I can. Kenny Homer says, I use your live videos as an excuse to get drunk. I'm drinking vodka tonight. Well, cheers to you, sir. I sent out some reminder texts for my stream tonight. Now I'm getting texts from people. All right. PJ CNET says, SciManDan did a video claiming he debated, and it was just him replying in comments. Yeah, here's the thing is he's as controlled as Eric Dubay. They're on the same team. That might shock a lot of people, but Eric Dubay reads a script and is handled and doesn't do his own thing. When was the last time he went live and did something like this? Oh, never. You know, he's just too busy working on the next same flat earth video to release. So it's the deal. A guy who reads and never goes live, never does his own thing, never bees a person. It sticks out to me. Other people are so used to this style of format, like they're used to being faked out and duped, that they just don't notice it. Whereas I'm like, how come I'm the only one that'll go live and go off the cuffs like this? Right? When you don't see SciManDan with his 400,000 subs, he doesn't go live and just talk to him like a dude, right? Tell you about his life, other things in his life besides how much he hates flat earthers. No. Mark Shire says Shills never talk, they talk down and do everything to make it appear you're a fool by treating you as such. They play as immature as it gets with them. Yeah, and see, like I said, I like to show both examples because like Eric Dubay is looked at by flat earthers as some sort of god or guru when he's like just like SciManDan, reading a script, not his own man. He could literally just be sitting there and they could be like, here's what you're reading today, Mr. Dubay. The reason why people down south don't see the sun come up from the north and instead see the sun come up from the south is to be expected. And this is because of perspective. So they can have Eric read the lines the same way SciManDan reads the lines, right? Still the same characters they were 4 or 5 years ago, haven't changed at all. G Hart says vodka makes me want bed. Yeah, I've never been a hard alcohol guy too much either. It makes me too drunk too, and then I just get sleepy. So I've always been more of like a beer guy because I feel like I can hold it in my hand. It's cold, something to do every half a minute, whatever, take a drink. So it was like more of like a boredom cure. So I took a shot, I'd be like, whoa. Like after like a few shots, an hour goes by and you're like, holy shit, I wish I didn't do that. Whereas like 2, 3 beers, an hour goes by, it's not as bad. So I've always been a stick to beer kind of guy. And even that is shit water. And I tell myself every time I drink it that I'm wasting my money. So I still battle my shit water semi addiction where I'll talk myself into having a beer and then I'm like, what am I even doing? Like, what is this doing for me? It's crap. But what can you do? We live in hell basically to a degree, Look at the world around us. So it's tough not to resort to bad habits sometimes. So I'm not the type to sit on a high horse and preach, you shouldn't do that. Drugs are bad. That's bad. Don't do that. Even though we know it is. Shay says, I like beer. And Grady says, I want to party with you, Faith. I want to party with you. I want to party with you. When are we going to get together and party? All right. So we got any new subs in the house? I notice I've picked up a bunch of new subs from the football videos. Do we have any new subs in the house who are like, is this a football channel? What's this guy talking about? We talk about all sorts of stuff. I'm not specifically a football rigged NFL channel, but I have been doing those videos lately. And because of that, suddenly I have a bunch of new people commenting and new subs. And so I was figuring I would do a stream tonight where we would just chit chat and hopefully I'd get some of the new subs showing up and getting involved. Here's a good question. Sluggo says, what happened to Q? I don't know. I've went over to his channel, to both channels and see if he's commented recently, and he hasn't. And I even left him a comment either on both channels or one of his channel asking where he's been. Probably a week ago, I went over and asked him where he's been. So he's kind of fallen off. Maybe he's just taking a break. I don't know. He hasn't talked to me, and he hasn't said anything. So, and he was pretty active. So I don't know. I hope everything's okay with him, and I hope he comes back soon. Sunflower says, do they rig baseball too? Yes. Every professional sport where you can bet, it is rigged, and it has to be. It has to be. If you leave it to chance, then the sports books could stand to lose. And also, if you leave it to chance, the games aren't as exciting. They're more predictable easier for people to bet and win. And so to keep people glued to their seat, they can script a game to be closer than it should be. They can create miraculous plays, and they can do this with any sport basically. And also, to rig the outcome means you get to rake piles of money off ignorant sports bettors who think they know who's going to win. And so it also controls for outside criminals or mobsters trying to rig the games. So let's say the mob wants to pay a baseball player or a few baseball players to like throw a game, strike out on purpose, whatever, walk a bunch of players. Now it's completely rigged from inside. And so let's say if you're going to have one team win and it's scripted that way, well, no mobsters can come along and change the outcome because it's already scripted. It would be like a mobster trying to change the outcome of a WWE match. If one guy's scripted to beat the other guy, it doesn't matter if a criminal tries to pay them off. It's not going to work. You know, so it's as scripted as the WWE because it has to be. It has to be. When it comes down to making billions of dollars, the answer is always yes, they're going to do that long before they're going to leave billions of dollars on the table. So people bet on baseball not as much as they bet on football, but people bet on baseball. And so therefore it is rigged just like anything else. And then they can have like inner cheating storylines like, oh, Barry Bonds might have been on steroids, or this guy was cheating, or you know, this team was stealing signals. The whole game's like scripted and rigged. That's like saying, you know, the Patriots were using deflated balls and that's why they won. No bullshits, because they were scripted to win. See, so they can like admit to these like little bits of cheating when in actuality the whole thing's just completely rigged like WWE. All right. What else do you guys want to bring up tonight? We can talk about basically anything tonight. I'm just going to be reading topics and just talking tonight. I have a few really good video clips, but I was just going to kind of save them for when some more people show up. Grady H says, Jake, you sick blocking, bro? Am I sick blocking? I don't know. What do you mean? I haven't blocked anyone tonight. Oh, cock blocking. Cock blocking you? No, I'm not cock blocking you. I read your comment that you wanted to party with Faith, but I didn't try to like tell Faith not to party with you. That would be cock blocking. If I was like, hey, Faith, you should come hang out with me and not Grady, then that would be cock blocking, bro. Go for it, dude. She's not my girlfriend. Well, you could do whatever you want or try to do whatever you want with anybody in chat, bro. I'm not blocking your cock, okay? I want everybody to know, not blocking Grady's cock. So try and use your cock on anyone in chat as much as you'd like, sir. In fact, I encourage it. Just kidding. Or am I? All right. Let's get back on topic. I totally just demonetized my stream by saying cock so much, but I'm talking about roosters. Yeah. I'll bet that was worth a laugh. If anything. Ha 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 ha. G Heart says ha ha ha. Jonna's here. Hi, Jonna. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you could make it. Says ha ha. I'm not even gonna read this. I'll put it up on screen, but I'm not gonna read it. If I read that, it'll be extra bad, but I'll put it up on screen. What is going on? Christian Sturzing says, you demonized yourself by talking. I demonized myself? So I became a demon when I started talking, like when I was born? Like when I When I was born, well, not when I was born, I was probably just crying and screaming. But when I began to talk at whatever the hell age it was, I don't remember. So like 1 or 2 or whenever the hell I said mama or baba, dada or whatever, uh, that means I demonized myself. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense, Christian Sturzing. That would be like me saying you demonized yourself uh, when you just left that. You just turned into a demon just now. Way worse than me when I demonized myself for talking. So screw you. What do you think of that? And Jose Jota Fernandez says Jake seems to ignore my message. There's a shitload of them. Try being on my end and reading all of them. Like, it's not possible. So I have to just read 1 or 2 and then say something, and then read another 1 or 2 and then say something. You know, some of them are just like, yeah, Jake, LOL. You know what I mean? So me reading every single person's comment is just not realistic. So I'm not trying personally to not read anybody's stuff on purpose. If you see me read everyone's comment except yours, then you can bitch, okay? Demonetized. Well, they should, when someone said demonized, see, that's a different word than demonetized. But I see where the mistake was made, but it wasn't my fault. And it's all for comedy and fun. Christian Sturzing, if you're out there still, it's all for comedy and fun, buddy. All good times. It's everybody having fun. That's what we're here for. We're here to have fun. Talk some smack, chit chat, have some fun. Dave Lopez says, will you ever do an interview with Mark Sargent? I highly doubt it. I'm not going to say never, but the chances that I'm going to bump into him and then want to do an interview with him and then him agree to it are pretty much slim to none, I would figure. And I'm not like banging on his internet door trying to like have a virtual interview with him. And I'm not trying to like have him on as a guest or anything. Internet door? I basically don't care about him because he's just some shill that people basically have forgotten about. Like nobody really brings that dude up or talks about him in any serious light anymore. So I think he got as much chance of me having an interview with like Big Bird, you know. Andrew Jordan says, LOLOL, Jake Hole, LOLOL, Jake Holio. Jake Holio. You want some great Jake Holio? All right, hold on. I am the great Jake Holio. You give me tippy for my bunghole. It is my tippy that you must bow down to. If you do not want tippy, then you must stay away from my bunghole. It is nothing to be ashamed of. There you go, little Jake Holio for you. Anna seemed to like that. Christian Sturzing says, Judge. That's how you laugh in Spanish, I think. That's how people who live in Spain and Mexico, and those 2 countries only, laugh. John C. Oddity says, full of shit, this lad, Shaylin. Are you talking about are you telling Shay that I'm full of shit? Or are you telling Shay someone else in chat is full of shit? Or are you calling, or who are you talking about? Are you talking about me, sir? Because if so, oh, now he says weirdo. Are you calling me a weirdo? How dare you? Do you realize with a flick of a button, I could put you in a timeout chair, sir? Grady H says, you were living up to your name, asshole. Thanks. I'm glad you think so, Grady. Hey, how's that uh, cock thing going for you since I stopped blocking you? You good? Oh, Shay blocked him. Did did you cock block him or just regular block him? Because Grady doesn't like the cock blocking thing, apparently. Christian says, loving Beavis and Butthead. Yep. I grew up watching those guys. I was a 90s kid. And I definitely liked me some Beavis and Butthead. So they're ingrained into my DNA. You guys are talking about cocks. Austin Wagner. MSB says too many women in this chat. It's giving me cooties. Yeah, it's funny because when I look at the statistics on my YouTube studio, it tells me like 97% of the people who watch me are men. And so there's like very small percentage of women. Basically, it's like 3 to 4% of my entire audience. And I think they're all here in the chat. I think like the only ones who watch me are the type that show up to like every live stream, and they're the only ones because outside of them, it's mainly just all dudes, especially the football content. Like, holy shit, there's maybe one woman's content for every like 100 dudes content or comment, I should say. So all the comments on the football videos, usually like 95% dudes or more. Eric Catherine says, what's up, Jake? Hey, what's up? Glad you made it, Eric Catherine. Welcome. MSD says, guys like football. What can you say? The majority, yes, of sports fans are definitely going to be men, but there's a lot of women fans out there too, except they're less likely to wake up to the rig, I notice. Out of the people waking up to the rig are just mostly all men. Christian Sturzing says, where are the women? You mean here in chat? You got several. They've been here the whole time commenting, bro. Look around. Peter Smithy. Oh no, he's got a Trump on his profile. I'll let that slide because he's donating. Says Jake, you rock. Oh no, but you gotta give Alex Jones credit. Dude, I don't know where to begin. The fact that you have Trump 1 on your profile pic means you're already like brainwashed, still thinking that like Donald Trump is somehow like a good guy or better than Joe Biden or on your side or gonna do something to help you or the country. It's like he's a puppet on the world stage who pushed the VAXX. Do you remember? He pushed it a few different times. He promoted. Where is my? I have to use a prop when I talk about this so that I'm not giving any sort of advice. This is just a comedy routine. He promoted this shit. Remember? Did you forget, buddy? Here's the thing. I'm not going to kiss your ass just because you donate. If I don't like what you're saying, I'm going to let you know. Straight up, Alex Jones is a shill bag just as much as Trump's a shill bag. They're actors on the world stage, right? Highly paid actors on the world stage, and they've done a really good job at duping a lot of people, including you. Over here, I'm smart enough, and most of my audience is smart enough to know that both those guys are shills and actors on the world stage. You don't get to be on TV and be famous and have lots and lots of fans supporting you by the millions unless you're in the club. That's how that goes. So thank you for the donation, buddy, but you should probably do a little research. I have shown proof on my channel of what a shillbag Alex Jones is several different times. I've been calling him out for years, many years. All right. It's those damn globalists. Those damn globalists are they're turning the frogs gay. Let me tell you something. My babies need to eat, and I'm gonna eat my neighbor's ass. All right. Before I go home, my babies won't go hungry. My babies, I'm gonna eat my neighbor's ass. I'm gonna saw one of their butt cheeks off, and I'm gonna cook it up for my babies. All right, because they're turning the frogs gay. A guy wears a suit and a tie, has a studio and a crew. Does Jake the asshole have any of that? This little office that I rent, far from what his studio is. Look at the setup that he has. Rest my case. All right, I missed the super chat. Missed a couple of them, it looks like. Okay, Jonna. Missed one from Jonna. She sent the super sticker. Thank you, Jonna. I appreciate that. I don't know what the super sticker is. I have to go to my watch page to try to find it. Oh, it says, you are amazing. Thank you, Jonna. I appreciate that. You're a sweetheart. See, that's one of my awesome mods right there, sending a super chat. She's a sweetie. And then I had another super chat come in that I missed. IJB says, hey, when you get a new hat? I don't know. I was thinking of getting a captain hat and reverting back to the captain hat for a while. Because I did captain hat for a while, and I wore it like around town and stuff. I don't wear this one out in public. I just wear this one for streams and videos. But I was wearing the captain hat like out in public and shit when I was doing the van life thing. And people were always commenting that they liked my hat. So I was thinking of doing the captain hat again. And it is Halloween, so I could probably pick one up, at the costume store. But it's not something I've thought about much beyond that. Foam. You really want to go there? Foamfoot. You want to know why you're not a mod? That's because you were all super flirty with me, and then you would never talk to me and prove that you're that girl in the photo, and never prove to me that you're a girl. And you were like, every time like you said you were going to call me or contact me, you never, ever, ever did. So I just assumed you were a dude messing with me. And I told you, anytime you want to prove you're that girl, I'll be glad to make you a mod again. So don't go trying to get sympathy from anyone here. And I don't do that to just everyone. You made it a point to be super flirty with me and act a certain way. But then when I was like, okay, you want to talk to me? And you're like, oh, I'm too scared and embarrassed to talk to you. Sure you are. How old are you, sweetie? How old are we? And you're too scared to talk to me, but you want to be super extra flirty with me? All you had to do is just prove you're a woman. You didn't even have to come meet me or do anything with me. Just prove you're a woman, and everything would have been fine. That's why. I think I've told you that before. Got a super chat that I missed. It says NPNY. I guess it's New York Police, New York or something. I don't know. NPNY 1970 says, Jake, I saw you thought Skiba was a shill. Can you explain? Yeah, he back in like 2013 predicted all of the pandemic to a T, down to a T, and then he died of the C word in the hospital, apparently. So he told us about this thing long before anyone else was talking about it that was going to happen and come. And then he let the hospital kill him and tell him that he had that thing. Sure. You want me to believe that? Okay. And he ran with the rest of the Flat Earth Shill crew. So there's that. He was at that conference, you know, the one with Jaron and Dave. That one. And Patty and Marky, the whole Shill crew from the documentary that made the Flat Earthers look retarded. Remember? Yeah. That's why. He hung with all the shills. He was one of them. And then they killed him off and they're doing something else with his character. I don't know what. But he distinctly, in 2013, before I was even awake, before I ever talked about any of this, talked exactly about how this shit was going to be rolled out and put into place. He outlined every step of the pandemic in 2013. And then he somehow died of the thing that he proclaimed was going to happen. Wow. Funny. Oh yeah, and I might sound like I'm talking down to you. It's just because I'm angry about all these people and how like I have to. It's like I constantly have to go back and explain why these are bad people. What do you mean that Eric Dubé is a shill? It's like, oh shit, really? We have to do this again? So it's like I have videos all over my channel for years, like ad nauseum, explaining why each of these guys is a piece of shit, shill, and a liar. Every one of them. You want to know? Go on my channel to the videos and search the name of the person on my video list, and you'll find that I've called out all of them many times to the point where people bitch at me and tell me not to talk about it anymore. So it's one of those subjects where uh, I find that I have to like repeat myself like over and over again. So sorry if I don't sound super thrilled about talking about that one, but I do appreciate the donation. I actually do appreciate the donation, and so thank you for bringing him up. The Supreme Overlord with a donation says, "Here's some dough without the unwarranted opinion." If you want to send me your opinion, that's fine. But if I don't like it or whatever, you know, or if you want to like bring up somebody who's obviously part of the AE map flat earther cult crew, then I'm gonna shit on it most likely. I'm not gonna be like, wow, awesome, I love that comment. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy that like wanted to promote Alex Jones. Like that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Javid says, bro code dono, Halloween ends, movie disappointed. Halloween guys, Foamfoot 420 is a catfish. I know a senior who falls for online scammers pretending to be hot women. He sends them money. It's pissing off his wife. Well, what a wonderful comment, Javid. Thank you for the donation, buddy. I haven't seen you around lately, so glad you're here. And that's kind of a funny comment. I'm going to leave that one up on screen for people to read for a minute. Uh, Reality Audit says, Jake, where are you about the shape of the Earth now? Well, after my hangouts with Q and Fee, I've come to find that I have no way of knowing what the shape of the Earth is. I know we're not being told the truth, but like I can't figure out what the sun is or how it works because the angles at which we all see the sun don't triangulate back to the same one sun. They don't triangulate back to two separate suns. Apparently, we all see our own sun in our own little personalized dome, if you will. And so the movement of the sun is not uniform, be it on the globe model or the flat Earth maps. And then when it comes to exploring, travel's highly restricted. Basically, you can't just go explore wherever you want willy nilly. And who has the time or the money to do such a thing? And so trying to explore and figure out what this place is and how far it goes is just out of the realm of possibility. And so one of the hardest things to do is just swallow all that and realize that I can't ever figure out what this realm is. And Q helped me figure that out by showing me that no map is going to make sense. None of the data that's real is going to translate over to a map that we're given or we're allowed to see and have it all snap into place and make sense. Every model has gigantic holes and flaws that don't add up and don't make sense. And I'm just a dude. I don't have any way to figure it all out myself. And I don't trust anyone else to figure it all out for me. So that's the interesting predicament I'm in. I'm in the I don't know and I can't and I won't ever know and I don't know what to do to try to know. People like be like, well, why don't you fund an experiment to do this or that? It's like you can't prove what the sun is, you can't prove what the moon is. You're going to die not knowing. You can think you might know, but you're not going to actually know. It's all going to be speculation. NPNY says, thought it was strange that Skiba was still putting things out. And then I looked up his obit, could not find it. Makes sense. Thanks. Hey, sorry if I came off like a dick in that last one. When I talk about the shills, it brings up this inner hatred inside of me. So don't feel like I'm aiming it at you, bro. A lot of these guys who, when they get brought up, they disgust me. And so when I talk about them, it's in general disgust. And Skeebs was one of those dudes, like he was like the top Jesus guy in the flat earth cult. He was like Mr. Jesus, there's a dome, AE map, stand there with Jaren and Dave Weiss and do the conference thing. And he was just part of that crew. So everyone part of that crew has turned out to be dirty. The only one that I think that was like a useful idiot that got used and maybe wasn't a total shill was D Marble. And he's the one who just turned his back and completely just walked away. He won't come out and admit that he was pals with a bunch of shills and that he pushed a wrong map and model and ran with a bunch of phonies. He won't admit that. So instead, he just decides not to say anything or make videos ever again. There's a lot of people who are in the first like the beginning of the flat earth like movement who are no longer anywhere near what they used to be. A lot has changed over the years and a lot has stayed the same. So thank you for that donation, buddy. Yeah, I could basically tell you about every single shill from when this thing started. Every major channel I can tell you about them from when this thing got going back in like 2015. As far as like people talking about the Earth not being a ball. JL says thoughts on NBA being rigged. 100%, just as bad as the NFL. Magnetic rims and magnetic balls. Look into it. Just do your own private investigation. Magnetic balls, magnetic rims, and you'll find what you're looking for. Basically, the exact same thing the NFL has going on. You can manipulate the ball. Somebody in the stands or in a booth can manipulate the damn ball, can manipulate whether it goes in the hoop or not. Yes, sir. When it comes to these I don't even want to call them a company or a business. Like, these organizations are so big, so powerful, and make so much money that they can put unlimited resources into creating technology that they never have to tell us about, that we might never even know how it works or how it exists. But the NFL, NBA, they have so much money that they can have somebody, a whole team of people, work on messing with the balls, adding computer technology, magnetic technology, and get it just right, just down to a perfect science. They have more than enough money to do that. So if they have enough money to do that, if they can control every little thing that happens, why wouldn't they do that? So you have to imagine if you were in charge and you could manipulate every little thing that happens on the court and make as much money as possible and script everything out just how you want, well, then why wouldn't you? Wouldn't you want control of the ball if you were in charge? So yeah, totally just as bad as the other sports. And I missed the super, or no, I didn't. I think I'm caught up on super chats. Go back, and I went back, found comments. In my humble opinion, the worst flat Earth shill is Nathan Thompson. Yeah, he was pretty bad. He's no longer active on YouTube so much anymore. I don't really see or hear from him so much. Ever since he got arrested, he kind of fell off the map. He got arrested for flat smacking children. And by flat smacking, he climbed a fence at a public school and screamed at children to research flat Earth. Andrew says Jake sent donation a few weeks ago. How about Andreas Exertus? You look into him? No, I guess I haven't. I guess it slipped my mind. I'll Google him right now just so I know who he is. Multimedia artist from Santa Cruz. Oh, I go to Santa Cruz like several times a year. Uh-oh. His beginning at CNN. Oh, he's been on CNN? That's bad news. We discuss his beginning at CNN. Uh-oh. Or is he talking to someone else who works with CNN? I don't know. Deep Danger. You never heard of him, dude. Except from you. Shay Lynn says his role was to make us look stupid. All the Flat Earth shill channels, that's their role. That's all their role, to completely control that end of the argument. So if you don't think the Earth is a spinning ball, you join the Circle AE Map Club with the dome. And if you think it's anything else than that, then they reject you from the cult and call you a shill. So if you reject the ball, the Earth being a ball, they'll be like, yes, join the Flat Earth Club. And if you're like, well, I'm not so sure about that circle map and the dome, then they're like, screw you, you're out of the club. Then then your family thinks you're crazy because you don't think that the Earth is a globe. And then the Flat Earth cult, they don't like you either because you don't go along with their Shill program. So that's how they control your thinking about the shape of the earth. Like, oh, you figured out it's not a ball? Well, here's your next wrong model to dupe you with. And then when you figure that out, then you're stuck scratching your head like me, like, well, then what the hell is it? JB says you missed my last super chat about Alex Jones. You still haven't looked into melted brick buildings, aka mountains, miltology. Don't get stuck on flat Earth. Move on as others have. I've looked into all sorts of different subjects. I don't watch a ton of like the stuff you're talking about, like with melted bricks or whatever. But I've watched all sorts of different videos. There's only so much time in a day, and only so much that you can watch. And when it comes to stuff like people turning into stone, mountains being trees, like I had a funny video where I talked about how some mountains can look like giant elephants. Does that mean like that giant elephants were a thing? And then how could they possibly turn to stone? So can living creatures somehow turn into stone and all that different stuff? So I went down a lot of those avenues, but what I don't like is that it's all just speculation, and I can't personally like prove for sure like any of that sort of stuff. You know, it's not as cut and dry as like proving a map wrong, or like showing how the sun doesn't work on a certain map or this or that. So at least with like proving the flat earth shill map wrong or something, I can like actually show people how it doesn't work. Whereas like something you're talking about, mountains being tree stumps or whatever, they look like they are sometimes, kind of, but I can't be like for sure, yes, there were giant trees and they cut them down and took away the tree to giant land somewhere else. So see, stuff like that comes down to speculation. And so I personally just haven't speculated on that topic as much as others, I guess you could say. But what did I miss? I'll go back and try and find your other super chat, buddy. Let me get caught up real quick here. Mr. Flex says, "Hey Jake, saw your channel 5 with Andrew Gallahan on his newest video. FYI." Oh yeah, well I did that a long time ago. That was back in 2020, and that was on the All Gas No Brakes channel. And see, that was before I even knew who he was. So when I showed up to the lockdown protest in Sacramento, he was there, and there was a guy with a camera videotaping him, and he was in a suit and stuff, so he looked like he was from the news or something. And then he asked if he could interview me, and I was like, let's go, and I just jumped into character, started going off, and I didn't even know who he was. And then he posted that video, and then I found out who he was real quick. People started telling me that they saw me in the video. All sorts of people told me they saw me in the video. So what was crazy about that, when I posted that on my channel, it got taken down for like bad medical advice or whatever. You know what I mean? Wrong, giving out medical advice, some shit like that. They gave me a strike for it. It's like, what the hell? Like, it's on his channel, but not on mine. So, yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, but that guy sucks too. That guy, like, he's just all about trying to get views, and then he went to like the BLM riots and stuff, and was like basically pushing that it's cool to like burn down buildings and stuff like that. So he was like trying to like glorify the BLM side, and then he tries to make like people who were against the lockdown look stupid. So he edited the interview in a way to try to make me look stupid, and he edits everyone's interview in a way to try to make them look dumb. And so what you get is not a fair representation of the interviews that take place oftentimes. Now, some of the people he interviews are stupid, and it's easy to make them look stupid. But like he took like little clips of me and put them together to where like I did a George Carlin impression, and I said, Oh, it's like George Carlin said, I don't ever wash my hands. You know when I wash my hands? When I shit on them. Other than that, I never wash them ever. So I did a George Carlin impression like that. And I told him it was a George Carlin bit that I was doing. And then he fucking takes the part where I say that I don't ever wash my hands and airs that only, like with the rest of my stuff that I'm saying about 9/11 being an inside job, this and that. So he tries to like take the clips and make people out to look stupid. And I'm a lot smarter than he is. Obviously, a lot smarter. So a guy like that, he gets promoted super heavily, promotes topics like BLM and glorifies it. Like you should totally go out and throw a Molotov cocktail through a window if you see a psyop on television, right? If you see a psyop on television, then you should totally go out and destroy public property because you're so angry, right? Anyway, I'm starting to go off on that. Okay. Javid says, notice I sent that super chat at the same time Misanthropic asks, where am I? Magical moment. Hey, Shay, Guevara Lynn, Nathan Thompson appeared on Modern Day Debate a month ago, but before that, he was nowhere to be seen. Cloned. I don't know. He's one of those guys that kind of falls off. Not all the flat Earth characters make it. Not all of them work out. Some of them fall off after a while. Maybe they lose their job or their funding and they just get cut out of the loop. I don't know. I can show you an example of a former flat earther who was big at one time, and he was in the circle with Jaron and Bob, and now he's basically an e-begging drug addict. I can show you guys if you guys want to go down flat Earth. Where are they now? Memory lane. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that, Javid. I actually met Nathan a couple times before he was in the documentaries and before he did all that Nathan shit. In 2017, I put on some gatherings, flat Earth meetups, subscriber meetups, and he showed up to two of them, two different ones in two different states, and he was a fanboy. And that was before he did the documentaries and stuff, before he did any of the Nathan shit, long before. So back when I first met him, he was mostly I thought he was just a regular fanboy, just there to meet flat earthers. And turned out, no, way worse. Let me go back and try and find this Miss Super Chat. Not seeing it. I'm going way back. All right, bear with me just a minute. Oh, you really wanted me to go back and read that? It says Alex Jones is cool. Andy Hook was a hoax. I agree with you about Andy Hook being a hoax, but Alex Jones is definitely not cool. All right. He's most definitely an actor on the world stage and a shill. 100% controlled opposition. He's not a good guy on your side. Here's the deal. There's no way that I would ever get popular enough to where I have this whole crew and team and this big studio and all these graphics and all this shit going on and make all this money and then get put on television like him. So the fact that they put him on television and they like make a quote unquote example out of him on TV, that should prove that he's an actor on the world stage, not a legitimate truther. Also, look at all the subjects he stays away from. When was the last time he like broke down a fake space mission? Right? He doesn't talk about NASA being fake. He doesn't go into depth about the earth not being a ball. There's a lot of subjects he really glosses over, stays away from purposely, right? He doesn't talk about this small hat people. I could go on and on and on. So that's why I don't think he's cool. But thank you for the donation anyway. Like Rose Bellman says, dick pills, ha ha ha. Yeah. Yeah, the guy sells male enhancement lab made powders, right? So he'll be like, folks, if you want your male enhancement enhanced, then you need to buy my lab made powders. They're made from the finest ingredients in China, right? So this guy will sell these lab made powders and all sorts of different products. Then he'll make all sorts of claims that they do this and that. And so you really got to wake up. Real truthers such as myself, we don't get anywhere near that big. They don't put us on TV. I don't sell any lab made products or try and push anything, any sort of product, make any magical claims on people. And then if you just look at the people he's ran with, like he brought Alex Stein on to be a host on his show. I would never bring Alex Stein on to be a host on my show. You know why? Because he's an annoying piece of shit shill. That's why.
Content 99! I'm here on InfoWars! Yeah, InfoWars, everybody! I'm gonna sell you some dick pills! Alex Jones, mail enhancement pills! Yeah, and they make my dick so hard! I really love them!
Andrew Jordan says, Jake, can you do a podcast with Faith? Well, I could bring her on as a guest. I haven't had any guests in a while. I should bring on some people. I could probably do a show where I bring on 2-3 people. I mean, I did some streams with Q and Feed, did some with Shay, and then I kind of just went back to doing my own thing and haven't done anything with anybody lately. But I've had an idea that I would like to bring some people, bring some of you guys on, maybe bring on 5-10 of you guys for one show, you know. So yes, I can do that. That is a possibility. Johnny Rock says, what about David Weiss? Shill bag with a tracking app. The AE map with the circling sun, that's bullshit. He'll show you the circling sun and a circling moon. And as Q and Fee and I have showed you, that doesn't work. That's bullshit. And so if you really want to have a debunked model and have them track where you're at, maybe even, who knows, steal your data, harvest your data, sell your data, turn on your camera and look at you, go for it if that's what you want. But I personally don't like to run with shitbags like that. Andrew Jordan says right now is a good time, pal. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate the donation. CTR 8008 says, what are your thoughts on the war in Ukraine? Why is U.S. dumping trillions of taxpayer dollars into non-NATO country? How do you know where the money's going? Did you see it go into the accounts? Like, money's bullshit, man. Like when they say Alex Jones is going to pay those actors $1 billion. No, he's not. Like, anytime any money is said to change hands, like, you have to ask, like, how do you know? What personal proof do you have that we're spending X amount of dollars where? And then anything you see on TV, you just have to figure is probably just 95% bullshit or more, right? So when it comes to wars in other country, I just go, meh, I'm not there, so I don't know. I'm not going to be swayed by little video clips online that are controlled. So I'm not there. It seems like bullshit to me, like everything else. To what degree, I don't know. I kind of stayed away from it because, like, I'm basically a prisoner in my own country, right? I live here. I can't go explore wherever I want to go whenever I want. You got to get permission. You got to get, the passport just to, like, go north into Canada or south into Mexico, and then a completely different set of laws, and you got to pass through customs, and they made it a pain in the ass to fly, purposely made it a pain in the ass to fly anywhere and deal with all the bullshit. So I'm basically like just a dude stuck in my own country, I feel like, and I can't do anything about it. And whatever they say is going on anywhere else in the world, as far as like wars on TV, I'm just like, whatever, some bullshit somewhere else. Who cares? Outer Passion Zone 261 says, "Yep, war is money." Yeah, it's the money business, exactly, right? The war is all about getting countries to take out these loans and pay for these never-ending wars, which cost an ungodly amount of money, right? And then the taxpayers are the ones who basically have to foot the bill. It's a big scam, just like everything else. All right, so we've chatted a bunch. I got a couple video clips that I could show you guys here. Let's see. I know where we'll start. So we'll go back and take a look at where one of these flat earthers has ended up. There was a flat earther who was popular for a while, and he's fallen on some really bad times, it looks like. And I don't know how many of you guys remember the Morgile. He used to be on Globebusters, and now he's not doing so well, it looks like, and he's become a full-time e-beggar and a rapper. So he's an e-begging rapper now. Anyone remember Morgile from the Globebusters show? Anybody go back that far? 2015, 16, 17? Anybody remember Morgile? Johnny Rock says Morgile is great. Well, we'll see about that. We'll see. Let's take a look at what he's been up to lately. Let's see where the road has ended for him.
Everybody, John Morgile here. Good morning. It is Monday, October the 10th at 8:45 a.m. Guess what? I have to go to court today, and I got no gas. See the gas hand? I'm out of gas. I got to be in Spartanburg in 15 minutes for court. I'm going to try. If I run out of gas on the side of the road, then I'm kind of screwed. If you want to help, desperately need it. We do have the hotel for another night till tomorrow morning. So please help. Please help if you can. $5, $10 will get me there for real. Please. Cash App.themorgile, PayPal.me/themorgile, Venmo.com/themorgile. My loan still hadn't come through yet. So, then why didn't you tell me I look like such crap? All right, guys, wish me luck. I'm trying to go to court. All right, bye.
Seconds left on the clocks when they sing. Zach Morris can't score on us with 10 Glocks and a chicken wing. Just now, Gong saved 9 Chinese just now around the block. Blistered knuckles eat glass, faces bleed faster than hot molasses. Whisper drunken nothings right past her, right into that ass. Administered 1 microgram of my extra medium, extra small, extra sweet Amina P. Considered all that shit worth it for a microsecond of unabashed, true-speaking, sexy-ass Amina Pachillo. Strangled Mengele's twin Manchurian, stranded by Amico by Burger King in a DeLorean. No, not the one in Florida, the one in Spartanburg by Saxon Street and Florida Avenue. No, I'm not mad at you. I'm writing verses about the number of hearses it takes to get to the trap door in the trap house and escape the white cut in the mortuary. Whistling past graves with a lollipop in my mouth, strapped up with AKs, 1,200 AKs and 9 grenades and a fade, a lemonade, shards, strawberries, and grapes. extra cinnamony, amina pachi, straight from Petrolachi, blowing dro like Mr. Selassie, drawing blowing O's like Sir Caterpillar, stacking dirt like front end loaded caterpillars, JLG like Jose left the coffee game, JLG like Jose left the coffee game. You're so minty, candy canes look Reese's Pieces, mintier than Mandy Moore and Wintergreen's nieces. Masa.
Yeah, so that's what Morgile's doing these days. So this dude sat next to Jaron and Bob for years and was one of the co-hosts on Globebusters and was on the bill for the first ever Flat Earth conference. So this is kind of a Flat Earth, where are they now episode, I guess. And this is what can happen if you make the wrong choices in life, y'all. Yep. See, this shitbag sat next to Jaron, sat next to Bob while they badmouthed me. And so, you know, seeing him end up like this, I'll be honest, I wish it was Jaron. If it was Jaron, I'd be like, ha ha, ha 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 ha, bitch, ha ha. But it's Morgile never talked that much shit about me, if he really did at all. But he did sit next to some evil dudes, you know, Bob, Nodell, and Jaron's. I wish that this was Jaron or Bob instead, but you know, this just goes to show you how you can end up if you do too many drugs and don't take care of yourself. You can end up rapping and e-begging on YouTube. So that's where Morgile has been. All right. Michael, Michaelis V says, no more NFL, bro. It's boring. Here's the problem, bro. Have you looked at how many views those videos have gotten? And then looked at my other stuff? The NFL stuff's bringing in more views than any other stuff I put out right now. The viewers have spoken. Have you visited the comment section? You might think it's boring, but there are people showing up telling me otherwise. So you and maybe one other guy are like the only ones who say that you don't like it. Here's the thing is, if you don't like the football stuff, you don't have to watch it. But you can't deny that it's bringing in new viewers, new subscribers, and it's more popular than any other content I make right now. So sorry, dude. Looks like I'll stop doing it when the season ends. How's that? Deal? When the season ends, I'll stop. I won't talk about basketball or football, or basketball or baseball or hockey. But as it goes right now, there's a shitload of people who are following me who never watched before. And they showed up specifically because I started making that new kind of content. In fact, if you don't believe me, let me show you a little something right here, y'all. I was waiting for somebody to say something like that so I can show you this.
Hey, man, I just want to come hop on here and, you know, speak on some shit real quick, you know, while I got the time on my hands. All right. And it's about the motherfucking NFL. Man, I've been watching football for a long time. And man, dog, I am seeing some of the worst effort, the worst tackling, the worst everything. You know, I played the game of football before, and I'm like, yo, how did you not make that play? Or how did you not make that tackle? Or why is your angle to make the tackle so poor? Do you want him to run by you? Like, dog, you in perfect position to make the tackle, but somehow you just let him get by you and take a horrible angle and then act like you diving for a motherfucker legs or something. And man, I'm just seeing so many half-ass plays and some decisions that's like, yo, professionals shouldn't be doing that kind of shit. Or like, man, I'm really starting to think this game, that NFL, this entertainment is rigged, dog, for Vegas. Like, man, I know if you betted on the Jets yesterday, you got paid. You got paid, bro. I'm seeing some of the worst effort, man. Like, nigga, and you know, if you play football, nigga, the main thing is hustle, nigga. Hustle. Hustle to the ball, nigga. Keep your feet moving, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, the game of football, y'all, that shit, man, that shit just for money, bro. That shit ain't for these niggas to come together as a unit and go win. Like, this shit fucking made up. Know what I mean? They know who gon' man. Man, I don't know. I really don't fucking know. Like, and I don't believe that everybody's into it, because you can't tell everybody what to do, you know, because they can't act it out right, or you know, it won't work out right. So you gotta, you know what I mean? The ref make certain calls to swing momentum, or bail a motherfucker out from a third down or a fourth down to give them a first down. And the penalty, and the penalty is like, come on, dude. You call that? You could have let that come on, man. Like, just like the shit with Brady. Just like that shit with Brady. When that boy sacked that man and they were gonna get that ball back, it's likely they might have went ahead and scored that touchdown to beat them boys. To beat Tampa. But they called that shit, dog. They called that damn roughing the passer shit, man. That shit was some bullshit. But hey, man. And the refs got the control for real, because you can manipulate a lot of shit, man. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Shout out to Jake the asshole, man, for, you know what I mean, making me aware, making me look just even more. Just start dissecting shit, you know, because I played football from fucking youth to fucking all through high school, like all my life. And some shit I be seeing is yo, hey, cuz, come on, bro. Tighten up, man. You right there to make the play. You right there to make the interception. You right there to make the goddamn tackle. But you just dive for the legs, and man, it's crazy.
See, these are new people who would never have found my channel, would have never showed up. So new people out there are figuring out that the NFL's rigged, all right? And to be the one to help them get there, you know, it makes me feel good. I'm helping people realize that that this sport is not sport; it's entertainment, and it's basically, you look at it even more so, it's the Roman circus, right? Bread and circuses. The governments of the world, they don't want you to focus your time and energy on them. They want you to focus your time and energy on a kid's game, on these players, on these teams, and who wins and loses, stuff that really doesn't matter. And then they want you to be emotionally invested and financially invested in something that doesn't matter. So what I like about being able to wake up dudes like this is I'm helping make a difference in people's lives by just getting them off of the Roman circus. So just getting somebody to realize that football is fake. There's a lot more of a chance they're going to listen to you. Tell them that the government is also rigged, not for the people, right? So they're more likely to listen to you about the world stage if you can break down the illusion of the football being real. And so that's one of the things I really enjoy about this, is that I'm ripping apart the illusion of this sport being real and getting people focused on all the corruption in the world, not just the NFL being rigged, but your government being corrupt, right? Every single election being rigged and whatnot. So yeah, I just found this dude's video and I watched a little piece of it, and he actually had me laughing at parts. And so, like I said, a dude like this, he wouldn't have showed up without me making the NFL rig stuff. And it's not just him. There's a bunch of new people showing up. If I showed you guys the statistics, there's more subs showing up for the NFL stuff than who have in a long, long time. John X says, I love your channel is growing. Congratulations. You know, it's nice to be able to just have the sub count just go up instead of down. It was like they were stealing subs from me. People were telling me that they were getting unsubbed. And it looked like every video I did was just being shadow banned. And then when I created this new form of content in a new category, sports, suddenly it was like 2,000, 3,000 extra new people showed up. And then a lot of them people hitting the subscribe button. And then the next week, like more people showing up. So each week there's thousands of people showing up who would have never showed up before. And it comes down to making that new content. So any form of the truth, helps wake people up to what's going on. So some people might think football is like low level stuff and shouldn't be talking about it, and there's more important subjects. You can't change the government or get people to want to change the government if they're too busy watching TV, sports. So in general, young men, right? The young men of the world, they know more about sports and care more about sports than they do the inner workings of the government. You know I'm right. And that's by design. It's by design. Oh, somebody watched my latest NFL rigged video.
Take me down to the Muff Punt City where the returners are really fucking shitty. I want you please muff this punt. Yeah.
Yep, Muff Punt City. All right. So that brings me to my next little video clip here. And this one's really good. Some of you guys might have seen this one before, but this is an awesome, awesome video clip here. Definitely open up your ears. It relates to everything we were just talking about.
And that means you can't rely on the media as it is today either.
Oh, of course not. All the media in this country, radio, television, and print, is all owned by 5 corporations. All of these corporations that own the media are owned and controlled, and members of the Council on Foreign Relations sit on their board of directors.
Can you name those 5 corporations? Is that
not off the top of my head?
okay?
I could try, but I don't want to take a chance on being inaccurate. But you can trace that yourself.
Okay.
Remember, if you go down and you trace the ownership of a station or a newspaper, and you get to a corporation, remember that somebody owns that corporation, and it's usually another corporation. But when you trace the interlocking of all these things, when you get to the top, there's 5. And all journalists know that there's some things you don't write about and you don't talk about because you'll lose your job. And that's where the control is. And that's why they pay anchormen like Dan Rather $2 million a year, because he doesn't question them. He knows that if he goes against them, he's going to lose $2 million a year. Do you think a man that looks pretty and sits in front of a TV camera for the 6 o'clock news is worth $2 million a year? No way. I don't care how long he works, and I don't care what he does. There is no job worth $2 million a year. That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. And he has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay a player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus. I know men who don't know anything in the world except who plays third base for the Mets, and they think that's a great accomplishment. And they meet and pat each other on the back and bond and go have cocktails and talk about what this guy that plays third base for the Mets did in last night's game. It's sad. It's really sad.
Is there any room in a kind of society where these manipulations are not taking place for this type of entertainment or any type of entertainment at all?
If people understand that a game is a game, if people understand that nobody, no matter what they do, is worth paying $2 or $3 million a year for, people should be able to get rich if they want to, by the sweat of their individual labor. Okay? By going out and doing something for the world. Not by taking people's minds away from the emperor. It's a game. Football's a game. Football's a game. But let me tell you something. When 150 of the most powerful men and women in the world can meet in secret in Baden-Baden, Germany, and plot the fate of billions, and nobody even cares about it. But 6 football players go to lunch together, and it's in the headlines across the country. You have a reflection of the society in which that exists. And it is a sick society that is doomed to self-destruction.
So based on that scenario, there's some truth into what these men are looking at.
Absolutely. And that's what makes me so sick, is that I'm trying to wake up a people who on a daily basis are proving the ones that I'm warning them about to be right.
Well, so that even though a minority, there are people out there that you recognize are awake to this, if they don't do something about it, they will lose that ability to be free in that way.
That's correct.
Whether they might think, well, I don't need to worry about it because I know what I know and I'm fine. It doesn't work that way. There's a connection here to everything.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. A nation of people who are willing to send their sons and daughters that they profess that they love to a foreign country to die, and they use the excuse to themselves that they're sending them off to defend our country, and they know damn well that's a lie, are doomed. What makes me so sick?
All right, so that was Bill Cooper, and that clip was Sports Are the Roman Circus. So if you guys want to go check out that clip or play it again or whatever, show that to somebody. That's a good clip. And I was thinking if I make like a rigged NFL documentary or something, like a long piece, and try to get like all the best like clips together for one really good documentary. This is definitely in there for sure. So this is definitely a must. All right. Javid said, Bill William Cooper did not like Alex Jones. He predicted 9/11 before he died, and died by gunfight outside his house against agents. Nas mentioned his book, Behold the Pale White Horse. He was wrong about Dark Side of the Moon and JFK, though. Yeah, I don't know all of his opinions on everything, but I definitely like this clip right here, the way he explains how sports are the Roman circus. And Javid, thank you for the kind donation. That's a very generous donation. I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that a lot. You know, these donations help keep me afloat, keep me up and running on here. So I do appreciate that. Rose says, good clip. Yeah, definitely. So that's what I was talking about when I said it was like the Roman circus, and I wanted to then show that clip so that then I can get everyone on the same page. So basically, when I do rigged NFL videos, what I'm trying to do is wake people up to this Roman circus, which is a giant distraction. And the giant distraction was put there on purpose to distract them from what's going on in their own government, distract them from the evils of the world, keep them tied up in a child's game that doesn't really mean anything in the greater grand scheme of life. And at the same time, they can get you to put not only your emotions on the line, but your finances. Because if you watch the games, chances are you think you're going to know who's going to win. You might put some money on it. You'll find out real quick that you don't know who's going to win. Javid said, I also sent you on PayPal, buddy, oh pal. Oh, thank you very much, Javid. You are a gentleman and a scholar. I appreciate that. George SN Risk 3 says George Carlin flat out told the truth while the audience giggled. Yeah, they were just kind of giggling along with whatever he said back then. And I'll bet you, like most everyone in that audience, like if they're the ones who are still alive today, are probably wearing muzzles at Walmart and rubbing hand sanitizer on themselves, So, yeah, it's too bad he's not still around. He was one of the guys who he was probably still in the club, let's be honest, because he was famous and in Hollywood movies and stuff. But at least he gave us some gems of truth in his comedy specials. IJB with a donation says test. Are you testing the donation system? This is only a test. Jake the asshole. Javid is pronounced the way you said it at first. David with a J. So it's Javid. Is it Javid? Or is it Javid? Or is it Havid? Spell how it's pronounced. That doesn't sound correct. I was thinking Yavid. Now I don't even know what to call them. Misanthropic, paying it forward. Whenever I'm doing good, I'm happy to support, just like I'm supported by my clients, so I don't have to get a job. I see Jake the same way. You're supported by your clients? What do you do, Javid? I don't think I've ever asked you what you do. Or Javid. Your name's Javid, Javid, or Havid. Or it's something else. That much I know. Shay says, ugh, when I see people rub the poison hand sanitizer on themselves, my theory is ugly people love the mask and will always wear them. They think that there's all these germs and bad things and that these magical chemicals that the store sells is going to make it all better. And they forget what it was like to be a child before they rubbed that shit on themselves. It's like a lot of these, like, older people I see, it's like, dude, you were alive in the 60s and 70s and you weren't doing that shit and you made it just fine. And now you feel like you have to rub that horse shit on yourself like every day, multiple times a day. Like, why? It's the TV, man. The TV corrupts people's minds so badly. Crypto B says Jav vid. Well, how do you know Crypto B? How do you know? Misanthropic says so it's Javid. Javid. We're just gonna spend the rest of the time reading people say Javid. Javid. No, it's Javid. We're gonna do this for the rest of the stream. Marijuana community says, "Yo, Jake, what's up, man?" Oh, nothing. We're just here saying Javid a bunch of times. What's up with you, bro? LOL, name is David with a J. Thanks, Anthropic. I'm independent chauffeur. Assistant sounds cooler if I say I have a limo business. Oh, cool. Well, thank you for that donation. And now I'll call you Javid from now on. I've been calling you the wrong name for all these, over a year now? I think you've been showing up to my streams for over a year, maybe more. So I've been calling you the wrong thing. I'm calling you Javid. Javid. David with another donation as I live in South Florida in case anybody needs my services. Miami Broward area. There you go. Anyone out in Florida who needs a Javid in their life, you know where to get a hold of him. He's right there. Thank you, Javid. Javid. I just called you Javid anyway. Nah, screw you. Your name is Javid, man. I don't believe you know how to pronounce it correctly. All right. SN Risk 3 says the fanboys can't handle the Minneapolis Miracle. They changed the subject instantaneously. Yeah, that one or the Miracle in Miami. Both of the any play NFL play with Miracle in it's usually just some bullshit. So yeah, go back and watch Minneapolis Miracle in slow mo, or go watch Miracle in Miami in slow mo. It's ridiculous. Extra fun. Like that would be my number one of the week, like any week, no matter what. So those are like the phoniest plays of the year. Minneapolis Miracle, Miracle in Miami plays for sure the phoniest plays that you could ever see. All you got to do is watch it in slow mo. That's when all the details jump out. IJB says I don't watch sports ball. Well, a lot of my subs don't. So when I started making the rigged NFL content, I realized only part of my subscriber base was gonna watch it, and I hoped that maybe some new people would show up and watch it as well. And it did better. It outperformed my expectations, and now it's become like the most popular thing that I do, which I wasn't expecting. So I expected a little bit of new viewers, but I thought I was shadow banned enough that they were just going to keep new people from finding me. But apparently, like when I change categories and just start pumping out something that the algorithm thinks is family friendly, then suddenly they start recommending me in search results. And my videos haven't been recommended in search results for a long time. And they finally started doing it again, but only for the NFL vids. So in a way, it's cool because it's like bringing, like I said, this new group of people who would have never found me any other way. And so far, they've all been really cool, and they seem to be accepting of my other opinions and stuff. So they're not showing up and being like, "What? You think Alex Jones is a shill?" Crypto Beast says, "Do you think the whole team is in on it?" Yes, every player signs a non-disclosure agreement. They're all in on it. There's no guy who's not in on it. Because to say that there's like a player that they're going to let run around play real football, he would screw something up. So if you had like a defensive end who's playing for real on every play, and then you only have one or two players who are rigged and scripted, like in on the fix, the shit wouldn't go right. Shit would get screwed up live, and they can't rely on the refs to fix everything. So people think it's just the refs or just 2-3 players or whatever. No, it's every single player. If you look at the defenses, how come every defense week to week forgets how to tackle? Entire defenses forget how to tackle. How do you get drafted if you're on defense? You have to be good, right? How do you get scouted? You have to be good, right? So if you're a player on defense, you don't know how to tackle, how the hell did you ever get scouted and put on a professional football team? Because every week I see multiple players who pretend like they don't know how to tackle. So here's a comparison for you. Have you ever went to a concert and went to see like a band that you know is awesome, and then when you get there, they don't know how to play their songs and they just stand there and look stupid? Imagine if I was like, "Hey guys, I'm going to slap the bass for you. You guys came to watch me slap the bass. We're about to slap some bass right now." I forgot how to do it. Hold on. I don't know how. And then the fans are like, "Boo! Boo!" Because that's what fans do if the team starts to suck. They'll boo their own favorite team. Imagine going to see a concert and the guys don't even understand how to play their own instruments. And they just stand there and go, "Huh? What is this? I don't even know what this is. How do I do this? Huh?" That's the equivalent of what we're getting in the NFL. Guys pretending that they don't know how to do the thing that they've been doing their whole life to get to the pros, right? Like a guy on defense who plays linebacker doesn't know how to tackle anymore. That would be like me going, "Hey guys, check out this new slap bass riff." Huh? What is this? I forgot how to play. And then next week, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I remembered how. I remembered how." So that's basically like the NFL. Guy forgets how to play one week. The next week, he remembers how. One-handed catches, all that shit. So imagine going to see a virtuoso guitar player. So think of like your favorite guitar player, And then when you get there, they just stare at the strings and go, huh? I don't know how. And then you come to watch them like the next week and they're like, I remembered how. Calypso says, exactly. See, I knew you'd get it. Calypso says, Jake is telling the truth. These football players suck. Now, see, they have to pretend to suck because real professional football players on defense don't fall down for no reason. And if they do, it's very rare. Like, I'm not saying no one's capable of making a mistake. What I'm saying is guys make mistakes every week at a frequency that's unrealistic. So guys like who are supposed to like hit the ball carrier and knock him down like are suddenly like running at incorrect angles so that they don't get there on time, and then diving at guys' feet and getting nothing. And there's no way at the peewee level that they were trained that way. And there's no way at high school level they were trained that way. And at junior college and small college level, they don't train you that way. So it's basically D1 college and the pros. They tell the players and train the players specifically to pretend to tackle, act like you're making a tackle and missing. So what these guys do in the off season and preseason and stuff is they get trained up to play pretend football, right? So I'll bet you when they run drills, they're like, okay, we need you to like dive at guys' feet and make it look like you're trying to tackle. So everyone line up and do the miss tackle drill. So instead of lining up and doing tackling drills, you line up and do the miss tackle drill. You're not making it look realistic enough. All right, you got to dive at his feet and then afterwards be like, dang it. All right, do it again. Line up and miss tackle again. That's what's going on. It has to be. Because at the peewee level, they don't teach the kids to dive at each other's feet. Go find a peewee coach and then watch the way they coach those kids. I swear they do not tell them to dive at each other's feet. And in a peewee game, you don't see anything that looks like an NFL game or a high school game. You don't see the play looks completely different. Real defenses are in on the quarterback fast. You know why? Because it's hard to block someone from getting to the quarterback. In the NFL, the defensive line and the offensive line just run into each other so scripted every time. Guys have way too much time in the pocket. Go watch like a real pass rush in high school. It's there fast. Fast. And when I played high school football, I would play defensive end, even as a small, fast guy. I would just run around the offensive tackle trying to block me. Half the time, it would be a fat guy who thinks that he was just going to block me, and I would just run around him and mess up plays. So back when I was in high school and did play, they had me at positions that you wouldn't have figured that a smaller, skinnier guy would play. Just fast, and I could screw up plays really quickly. So real football, defenses would be at more of an advantage to stop the offense. Offense is not easy. So what they've done with the NFL is they've scripted the offense to score lots of points because that's what is exciting and is more entertaining. So they've had to go as far as to tell the defenders to like let the receivers catch the ball, purposely miss tackles, right? Purposely muff the punt. Oh, I gotta love the muff the punt, right? These are professional returners in the NFL, and they can't just catch a punt. Please. Misanthropic says, for real though, why there are trick shot people that are so good, but teams aren't comprised of them? Yeah, there's amateurs out there who are just as good, if not better, than the pros. The pros are basically just actors playing roles. So if the quarterbacks were put into real games, Tom Brady wouldn't be the best, right? Like Tom Brady's looked at as like the greatest quarterback of all time, but he's pretend greatest of all time. So if the games were real and he wasn't playing in scripted games, he would have never looked as good as he did his whole career. So everyone you think is good, you really don't know how good they are. And everyone you think sucks, you don't know how sucky they really are. You don't know how good any of them are because you've never seen them play a real fucking game. So when people are like, oh, well, that player just sucks, every once in a while the trolls will show up and be like, just because someone throws an interception or fumbles doesn't mean it's rigged. It's like when they throw the interception right to the other team in the fourth quarter and completely lose the game on purpose on a bonehead play, then yes, it is scripted. So there's people that'll come along and tell me like, oh, well, just because someone makes a mistake doesn't mean it's scripted. It's like, no, it's the level of mistakes and the frequency at which these mistakes are made at the point at which the mistakes are like, if a high school quarterback knows not to make that bonehead play and 95% of the time doesn't, then why is an NFL quarterback half the time making that stupid bonehead mistake that the high school quarterback doesn't make? Anyway, going off about football again. Jim West says, when did real football stop? Well, the rigging goes back quite a ways from what I hear. So I don't know, like, if at some point they were just rigging like certain games, because back in the day, there wasn't a ton of sports betting on every game. It was just key games. So I could see, like, back when the league was, in the 50s and 60s, 70s, maybe you could have some games be more legit and then script the playoffs and Super Bowl. But once betting became legalized, then it just became like straight up WWE. So when you go back and watch old games, you can find examples that look phony, but you can also find entire games that look legit, or a lot more legit, I should say. So if you go back and watch a game from the 80s or the 90s, sometimes you'll see like a tough fought football game that looks pretty good. It doesn't look as phony as today's game. Today's game is like WWE, like worse than WWE. It's like it's not even believable. Like I don't understand how grown men or people who were alive to watch the games back in the 70s, 80s, the 90s are being fooled by this. Like they don't remember that the ball didn't used to bang off the uprights all the time. So now the ball will bang off the field goal posts all the time, every week. And everyone's like, that just happens. It's like, no, it didn't used to. That used to happen like once in a season, maybe. Now it happens every freaking week. So basically, I can't tell you when the first rigging began because, like, 40s, 50s NFL, I wasn't alive. I wasn't paying attention. And but I have found evidence and people talking about games being rigged going back as far as when the league started and merged with the AFL, when the NFL and AFL merged together. So it could have been just a lot less scripted back then. Lord Rothschild says it's always rigged. Yeah, but not to the degree it is now. Like the degree it is now is just like blatant, obvious, just fakery. And you can find some games back in the 80s and 90s, at least I remember, that seem a lot more hard nosed and tough and look more like a legitimate football contest. Jim West says they rigged the whole season now. Oh yeah, every game. And since there's live betting, you have to remember a ton of money comes in on live games because people think they're going to get one over on the book. Wait till the fourth quarter, bet on the team that's winning, right? So there's guys who will drop $1,000 on the team that's winning just to win $50, just to win $100 because they figure, oh, they're up 17 points, they're up 20 points, they're going to win for sure. And so they can script it the other way and have the underdog come back and win at the last second and basically pull the rug out from anybody who is trying to bet on the favorite once the game started. So the live betting changes the spread in real time, changes the spread throughout the game. You can have the favorite become the underdog become the favorite multiple times in one game. It changes the over under as you're watching in real time, the total points scored. So all those odds change drastically sometimes in real time as you're watching the game. So it's not all about what happens before the game and how much money spent before. If a ton of money comes in during a game, I'm sure there's some leeway on certain games that they could flip it to a different team if they want. So they can have their playoffs and Super Bowl set. But let's say a regular season game, unexpectedly, a bunch of money comes in on a team and they weren't expecting it. They could flip the outcome of that game if need be. So I think that it's probably done like to a finite science, like that they have like this computer system with all the money that shows up, and they can detect all the money coming in on every site for every single prop, every little spread, every little thing. And the computer can probably take all that data and then give them a score or a team that should win by a certain amount. And then they relay that to the guys out on the field and have them perform what needs to be done so that the NFL and Vegas can rake in those big piles of cash. Now, sometimes they have to let the public win. They can't always script it for the underdog. They can't always script it for the team who has less money, because then that becomes obvious. So every once in a while, they're going to give games to the public. They're going to have the team expected to win, of course. So if you think like, oh, well, I'm just going to do this or that because I know it's rigged, you'll never know exactly which way they're going to go with this. Even if you know it's rigged, trying to figure out which way they're going to rig it can be just as difficult as trying to figure out which team will win if it's real. Jake says gambling is for dumb, poor people. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So let's say if you were privy to the script and you knew who was going to win and you put money on it, is that gambling? What about the casino? The casino has the odds to beat any player on the table games, but a player can come in and get lucky and go on a hot streak and beat the casino. So, and the casino has to get enough people in order to stay afloat and make money. So opening any business is a gamble. So if you're going to open a whatever business, a convenience store, well, that's a gamble that people are going to show up and provide your business with enough money for you to stay afloat and be profitable. So life essentially can be a gamble. And you can go work for a slave job your whole life and have them cut you loose and fire you after years, and that you could have gambled by working at what you thought was a steady job, only to have them pull the rug out from underneath you. And so life is a gamble, business is a gamble. And I can show you some circumstances where you can be the one with the odds in your favor, but you're still technically gambling. I have beaten slot machines more so than you guys will ever know. A few of you might know, but I have been a professional slot player for 3 years, or since 2019. And I can tell you that if you walk up on a certain machine that has an advantage, the odds are that you will win. And if you only play when you have advantages, then that means you are for sure going to win more than you lose. So I am an example of a professional who wins more than I lose. No, I'm not kidding. Some people asking if the lotto's rigged. Yes, the lotto is rigged. Tom A says, if you're a time traveler and were able to get a hold of a sports almanac from the future, it would be worth it. Yeah, Marty, that would be awesome. No, there are people who are privy to certain picks, and if you win too much in sports, if you look like you're privy to who's going to win, and you have a winning percentage that's too high, what you'll find is no book will accept your bet, or they'll limit you to only betting small amounts. So real sports bettors who win a lot, their biggest problem is that the books will cut them off, or you can't show up to a Vegas book and have them be like, oh, well, this guy's a pro. He wins at a 60%. So no, we're not taking your bet. They can literally just tell you, no, we're not going to take your bet. So if you're the type of guy who wins at a high percentage and you're known for that, then your biggest problem will be like making a bet, trying to find a book who will take your bet. And so I've looked into like professional sports betting, and the people who make it they're very far and few, and their biggest issue is opening up new online accounts, because every time they figure out that they're a sharp bettor and that they're a winner, the online sports book will limit you to only betting $10 or $100 or whatever. They'll limit you to a small amount. So in order for you to make a big bet, 10,000, 100,000, whatever, a big bet, like if you win too much, they will cut you off. So then you have to start over and make a new profile and all that stuff. So the ones who are in that club who are privy to the information and who win a lot, is very far and few. Then you got a bunch of scammers out there like Zach Hubbard, who will tell you that you can perform gematria and figure out who's gonna win. Or if you listen to him, he's gonna figure it out for you. Don't listen to anyone talking about gematria. As I've told you guys before in another stream, that guy's a scammer and a fraud. Anyone telling you that they can decode these games is a scammer and a fraud. The thing with gematria is you can put any words into a calculator and it's going to spit out a number, and then you can take that number and extrapolate a team to win from it. But you can make a case for both teams. In a situation, you could have both guys perform gematria and pick two different teams. One of them is going to win and one of them is going to lose. The one who wins is going to claim it was because of his gematria. The one who loses will say he did the riddle wrong. He'll get it next time. So I recommend anybody who's thinking like you're going to bet on these games because you know they're rigged and you're going to figure it out. Whew, good luck. The last 4 or 5 times I made football bets, even just small bets, and I know it's rigged, and I'm trying to like figure out which way they're going to rig it, and I go the opposite way of the public, the opposite way of the money, I still lose. I cannot win enough sports bets to stay afloat, to where I've told myself to stop. Just stop. And I still find myself like those games where I'll be like, I know they're going to rig it for this certain team. I know it. And I'll be like, dude, you don't know for sure. Any money you bet is still a total gamble. They totally might give it to the public that week. So I've guessed wrong even when I know it's rigged. So back when I was a sports fan, I used to think if I look up stats and I know about the players and who's good and who's not, that I could pick the games. No, that doesn't matter at all. And even when I figured out that that shit doesn't matter and that it's rigged, I still can't get it right. Mark Kamsari says, you just didn't read it right, Jake. Yeah, I didn't punch the right words into the gematria calculator, man. I forgot to carry the 1, right? Calypso says, Hubbard, aka Greenblatt, is a scammer shill. Totally. Trying to keep you emotionally invested by keeping you financially invested. If you're financially invested, aka betting on the games, then that means you're going to be emotionally invested because your finances are on the line. If your finances are on the line and you're emotionally invested, you're going to watch the games. You're going to consume the NFL product. The only NFL product I consume is the highlights. And that's more than enough, more than I even want to watch. I'm already sick of it, and we're not even halfway through the damn season. I'm sick of watching this shit. but I do it because the people watching the videos get a kick out of it, and I'm getting a bunch of new views and subs. So I'm doing it. But just so you guys know, like, just me watching the highlights is like, ugh, so sick of it. And that's as much NFL as I consume. I watch the highlights. I don't watch the games anymore. I just watch the highlights, try to find the 10 rig plays to make my list, to make my video. So if I wasn't making my top 10, I would not consume the highlights, and I would not even be kept up on any of the NFL shit. Jake says sports is woke now. Well, here's the thing. They hijack the term woke. So what the mainstream media will do is they'll hijack terms like woke. So woke, in, at least to me, meant like somebody who's awoke to government corruption, somebody who's awoke to conspiracies. So if you know that the moon landing is fake, then you're woke, right? Like that to me is my definition of woke, is somebody who's awake to conspiracies, can explain them, and isn't a sheeple, basically. That's my version. That's what most of us considered woke. And so what they did is they took that term and they applied it to like woke NBA, Black Lives Matter, and and made it like a social justice type woke, which is a completely different thing than what woke originally meant to those of us using it. So that's just another way that the media just conveniently hijacked a term. They did that. They do that all the time. They even did that with like Karen. Like we were using the term Karen for the ladies who were freaking out about wearing muzzles or whatever. And it's like then the media turned it around that like that the conspiracy theorists are the Karens. You know. So I remember like calling out the Karens as the ones who were wearing masks in their cars. And then I saw the media trying to say that conspiracy theorists are Karens, that we're the Karen. It was like, that's not true. No. Karen was the sheep who were wearing the masks, not the people who were against the masks. So they would show like a lady flipping out about not wanting to wear a mask in a store, and they would say that that's a Karen. No, that's how they hijack terms like that. They did. You know what? The worst offense of what should I say? The worst example of this is when they hijacked the protest. So back in 2020, when they first locked down the country and told everyone you have to like shut down your business for 2 weeks, shut down and stay indoors. After 3 weeks, people started to like go crazy and started to like come together and protest. And so black people, white people, brown people were all coming together under the same cause, saying this is bullshit, this is unconstitutional, we need to be able to run our businesses, you know, and you can't do this to us. And so people were protesting the lockdowns. So what they did was they had the Floyd situation, the George Floyd shit go down. And then the next few days, like the very next week, people were protesting something completely different while wearing masks and destroying public property. So then you had a bunch of black people and brown people with Floyd signs and muzzles walking down the street, like destroying public property, and the police have to step in and shut it down. No more mention of the protesting of the lockdown. So when I met the Andrew guy from All Gas No Brakes, that was at the Sacramento protest, the lockdown protest. Do you guys remember any happening after that? No, that's because about 1 or 2 weeks after that, the George Floyd shit happened. And then people stopped protesting the lockdowns, and instead it was all about George Floyd. See how that works? They hijacked the word protest and people's thinking of protesting and stuck an entirely different group of protesters on the scene, protesting something entirely different that they set up and controlled. G Hearts as they hijacked the rainbow and unicorn as well. Oh yeah, they tied that to their LGBTQ LMNOP agenda. Scott Gorieps as his Kanye Shilling. That guy's an actor on the world stage of the highest degree. I don't even know if that's the same Kanye. That dude ain't looking like the same Kanye. I think they might have replaced him, or they have multiple different Kanyes, the way they have multiple different Joe Bidens. That version of Kanye just looks different. Kind of looks more like LeBron James now or something. Just looks different, and definitely what they do with these celebrities is they use them as a lightning rod for your attention, right? So if Kanye West says something about the small hat people, then that means like if somebody like me or you is to say something about the small hat people, they can connect us being crazy like Kanye. So if you say like the small hat people run Hollywood, then they can be like, oh, you're one of those crazy anti-Semites like Kanye, right? And they do this with every subject. They have one of their celebs like stuck to that. Like for instance, they'll be like, "Oh, this celebrity's a flat earther." It's like bullshit. No, they're not. You know, like the Kyrie Irving, the basketball player, he's a flat earther. No, he's not. How come he doesn't talk about it? How come he doesn't like have a channel where he mentions it or anything? Like, how come he doesn't reference Jake the asshole or Flat Earth asshole's work? Somebody legitimate, right? No. Funny how none of these celebrity flat earthers they don't ever say, I used to watch Flat Earth assholes versus videos in 2017. No. If anything, they're gonna credit Dubé. Right? See how that goes? So they have like a celebrity who can attach themselves to a subject so that if you or anybody talks about that subject, people will be like, oh yeah, like Tila Tequila, or oh yeah, like you know, whoever they got. Oh, this guy's like Eddie Bravo. Yeah. And then they can also have these like they can have Kyrie Irving turn around and walk it back and be like, oh, I think it's a globe now. I was stupid for thinking it was flat, right? They can have Steph Curry be like, the moon landing's fake, and then have him talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson and be like, oh, he totally convinced me it's real. So they can use these guys as puppets to like promote these subjects and make you think they're on your side. And then they can totally walk it back. They can totally go against what they said. So these are actors for hire. Retro Bill says, "Hi Jake, I just tuned in, but here's a few bucks because I already know it was a damn great show." We've been mostly just shooting the shit. This has been a chat stream. I haven't done a chat stream in a while where I just read comments and talk. So this is one of those since I haven't done one in a while. It has been fun. I showed a couple little clips, but mainly we just been shooting the shit all over the board, talking about all different stuff. So definitely go back and rewatch if you want to catch up. I always recommend if you want to go back and rewatch, you could put it on like 1.25 or even 1.5 speed, and then you could shoot through the stream. And you'll find that even though I'm talking fast, you'll still be able to keep up. And you can get through the stream quicker. That's what I do on live streams or long podcasts. I put it at like 1.25 speed, 1.5 speed, so I can just shoot through it. Faith says, I would love to stay, but I has a hot tub screaming my name. Oh, well, in that case, go jump in the hot tub. That's crazy that a hot tub screams your name. Does it have like a speaker, or does like the water like go, Faith! Just kidding. Retro Bill. Hey, glad you could make it though, buddy. Glad you could stop by. PJ CNET says with BLM protests, it was suddenly they should respect the right to protest during restrictions with police, even taking the knee to them while they attack peaceful anti-lockdown protests. Oh, the anti-lockdown protests got squelched once they did that Floyd thing. The anti-lockdown was a thing of the past. It was a completely different group. And you know what I remember specifically in my hometown of Modesto, they had this big march and the cops had to show up and shut it down. And all the people were like, just Mexicans wearing masks and stuff with like stupid signs about like being oppressed by police and shit. And it was like, none of you people like wanted to protest being locked down. Oh no, you wanted to. All these people that protested the George Floyd thing, most of them didn't give a shit about being locked down. They enjoyed not having to go to work. A lot of these people were happy to get a free government check for sitting at home. So the people who like went out and protested the George Floyd shit, a totally, completely different group of people than the ones who were protesting the lockdowns. The lockdown protest was bringing people together of different colors under the same shitty circumstance. They did not like that. They were like, oh shit, let's squelch this immediately. You got black and white people agreeing. People from different political backgrounds agreeing? No. So they quickly squelched that. I'm the only channel who tells you that it was the George Floyd thing was an operation to get rid of natural organic protesting against the lockdowns. I'm the only channel that I know of who ever made the connection or ever spoke that truth. Every other channel ran with it like it was real. And then you might have had some other truther channels, maybe a few call out the Floyd thing as being a psyop. But I haven't seen any channel ever put the two together the way I just explained it. I was the only one. And this is all a comedy routine. Remember, guys, all for fun. It's all a comedy routine, even though basically everything I say is true. Retro Bill says magnetic helmets in football would be really interesting. They got that ball doing some really crazy stuff. I don't even know if it's magnetics, man. Magnetics is just like my dumbed down thing that I say. Like it might be some technology that makes magnets just look like a toy. Like it might be some sort of technology that is beyond our thought process. Like the NFL, like I said, has an ungodly amount of money. They can spend as much as they want to manipulate their balls, and there's like some sort of force field with the goalposts, and I don't even know if it's magnetic or what it is, but there's some sort of force that they can take that ball and make it go left or right a long ways. Like a kicker can kick the ball straight, and someone can manipulate that ball somehow with a force or technology and move it 20, 30 yards to the left or the right, or make it bounce off the goalpost at will. I don't know what it is. Saying magnets is the most simple thing I can think of, but it might not be that simple. It might be a lot more of an advanced technology than we even know of. And they don't have to tell us. Like I said, they can. It's their sport, and they have as much money as they have unlimited money. So as much money as they need to manipulate every single factor of their sport, or excuse me, it's not even a sport, of their entertainment product, then they'll do it. Sunflower says, I think it's magnets. Well, that's what, anything, that we can put into words like magnetic force seems easy enough, but it might not be that. It might be some other form of technology. I can't really explain how all this high tech shit works. I'm not a very technical person, so I think that it could be something beyond just magnets. Thomas Kruzippa says, yeah, clean correlation to the Floyd and lockdown, many facets to that, including the police enforcing lockdown, martial law. It was a very scary time because I didn't know if we were going to go back to quote unquote normal, or if we were ever even going to go back to like halfway normal. And so it's, when I look back now, it was like so different. They, from your everyday life, it was just like completely turned upside down. At least mine was. Like all my music gigs were canceled. My job was gone, and I couldn't just go out and be my regular self. I couldn't even go to the casino. I couldn't go sing karaoke. Like every little thing that I did was affected. And so I was scared that was going to be like my new reality for life. So I'm glad that, I've been able to go see concerts again. I can still go be, in a situation where there's a big crowd and not everybody is a sheep with a muzzle on, and I don't have to worry about people at stores confronting me, but they could go back to that at any time. They could flip a magic switch and we could go right back to that. So I'm glad that it's not like that right now, but it was scary when it was like that because, man, it was not a fun world to live in. It was a very depressing world, and those were some dark times for me, losing all my singing gigs and not being able to go out and about and do what I normally do, and having regular employees, minimum wage employees confront me at the grocery store and whatever, and kick me out of a store for not wearing a mask. It was bad. So I'm glad that for now we're not dealing with that anymore. But at any moment that shit could come back. Jonah with a donation, doesn't have a message attached to it, but Jonah coming in with a super chat donation. Thanks, Jonah. I appreciate that. Not sure if you were meaning to attach us a message to it or not. Rose Bellman says, looking back, I cannot believe the horse shit that was happening. Yeah, see, now that you've heard me explain it like that, now when you look back, it all snaps together and makes more sense as a psychological operation on the world stage. So all they had to do was have a white man kneel down, quote unquote, on a black man's head, and then they have their catchphrase, the "I can't breathe" catchphrase. And it's funny, you have people with muzzles like "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." It's like, that's because you're wearing a ritualistic face diaper. Scott Goriup says, scared the shit out of me too, brother. I mean, to see everyone around me totally be like, oh, they're giving away free VA double X's. I'm going to go down there and get my free VA double X so I can get me a free donut. They're giving away a free small soda with a VAX. I'm going to get down there and get me one. It's like to see everybody that quick, like just turn into like the biggest zombies ever. Like, it's very scary. And we still haven't, fully recovered from that. If I was to go to any, supermarket or the casino, I'm still seeing like a quarter of the people muzzled up, depending, which place I go, what area or whatever. But I'm noticing like if I go to like any major supermarket, I'm still seeing almost a quarter of the people muzzled up. At the casino, I still see a good number of people muzzled up because a bunch of Asians go to, and all the Asians are basically wearing them. So I notice it's like a large portion of the Asian population is completely subservient to the government. They don't question the government at all. And they're the first ones to rub shit on, the chemical on their hands and and muzzle up anywhere and everywhere they go. So the Asians, I notice, are some of the most compliant slaves of all the people. So when I go to the casino, it's like 90% of the people who are wearing them are Asian. Speaking of, Danielle Funk, haven't seen you in a while. Glad you could make it. She says, I'm at a casino right now and I see two people wearing them. Bah. Yep. It's funny because like they'll go to a place where there's lots of people. Like, I know the casino that I go to can get really crowded, especially when they have a concert or an event. It can get really busy. And so they'll go sit shoulder to shoulder, at machines, but they think that they're safe because they have this mass produced diaper on their face. They have this mass produced piece of crap on their face, and they think that somehow that like makes them safe. So ridiculous. And I can tell, like, whenever I sit next to one, that that's the first thing that crosses their mind. They look at me and they go, "Argh." Like, that's the first thing that crosses their mind. Oh, it was so bad. I remember, like, elevators, for instance, like, we're only allowed to have 4 people and you all had to stand in the corner. And so, like, I remember the elevator door opened and I went to step in an elevator and there was like already 4 people in the corners and they looked at me like, no, no more. No more people in the elevator. No, you'll kill us. We'll all get the C word and die. Like, dude, really? You think like if one extra person stands on the elevator, that's going to be the one that kills you? But as long as they're all in the corners, then you're safe. So it was getting super ridiculous. So I'm glad that it's like, it subsided a little bit. Like, for instance, I've went to like 5 or 6 different concerts this year. Like, shit, maybe more than that. I saw Blue Oyster Cult play 3 times. I saw Steve Miller Band. I saw Sammy Hagar, Australian Pink Floyd, Billy Idol. So I went to a shitload of concerts this year. And so I noticed the concert going crowd doesn't wear them. And so the white concert going crowd that was at all the concerts that I just mentioned, there's very few, hardly anyone who wears them. But then you go inside the casino and there's like a shitload of Asian people still wearing them. So definitely I'm noticing some cultures more so than others are more prone to be sheeple. And you can say that that's racist all you want. This is true. I don't care what anyone says. That's not racist. It's like if you say anything true about a race of people, people go, that's racist. It's like, dude, am I not allowed to say something true about a race? Sunflower says it was a big test that they pulled off because people who complied with all the rules also probably accept digital ID, digital currency, and social credit system. Yeah, I agree. That was their test run, and they definitely can wheel this thing back out whenever they want. And everyone will be like, oh, I remember when we did this before. Let's lock down again. Hey, remember when we did this before? Well, since we've been trained, now we know. So I know the sheeple will totally fall right back into place if they were to do it again. And when they shut down the NBA. That was the first sports league. That's when I was like, oh shit, they're shutting down the bread and circus. What? That's when I knew we had a problem because it was like I was losing my music gigs and I figured like, okay, whatever, like 2, 3 weeks, I'll get them back. And then they shut down the NBA and then they shut down the college basketball season. And I was like, oh shit. And then the casino shut down because I was going to the casino exclusively and just like just hitting slot machines once my job was gone. And then it was like they shut down the casino, and I was like, well, shit, that's all of my forms of, of income. Because at the time, I wasn't even doing that much YouTube because I basically was just singing for a living. And I had basically walked away from YouTube. So that actually brought me back to making videos on YouTube. And still to this day, I'm basically a full time YouTuber now, ever since. Steve Palulis says Jake didn't get his jab, but you did get your cross uppercut and roundhouse. Well, my verbal uppercuts and verbal roundhouses. I didn't actually punch anyone. No, it sucked because a lot of my music gigs, singing for the old folks, it's their protocol is over the top for all that shit. So every single nursing home like became like a prison, and they were locked down, and they weren't even allowing people's family members to visit. So imagine like your grandma being in a nursing home and you're like not allowed to go see her. It was like that bad. And so they locked down all the nursing homes. And then when they finally started opening back up, they're like, oh, we'll allow you to come perform, but you have to wear a mask and you have to show that you've been VA double X'd, and and we're going to have this piece of glass in front of you. It was like not like it used to be. And so I'm sure a few of the places I used to sing at maybe would allow me to come back, but I don't live in that area anymore. But having to do anything that makes me uncomfortable to me isn't worth it. If I show up to sing and you want to take my temperature and you want to you do any sort of medical thing, make me take a PCR test, stick something up my nose, I'm like, no. They're like, Jake, all you have to do is just do this nasal swab. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. If that thing says that I have the C word, I can feel amazing, then you're not going to let me come in and sing. And they're like, yeah, totally. We if it says that you have the C word, we can't let you in here. I'm like, I know. And those things have been proven to test positive, even if someone doesn't have the C word. Someone can take it and test positive, then take it again, test negative. So just not going to take it. So I would just reject the nasal swab test even. And they were like, why don't you just take this and then you can come in and sing? I'm like, because it makes me uncomfortable to put anything up my nose. Because in my head, I'm like, I'm not putting anything up my nose. There might be like little nano robots on there, or fucking, you might have some little fucking virus or who knows what on the tip of that thing and you're trying to give it to me. Screw you. Derek N says, I am unjabbed and no swab. Who else in chat? Me. I'll bet you're going to find a high percentage of those here in this chat. Very few people who watch me are jabbed. Very few. I would guess that damn near everyone here in chat is going to say me. I doubt you're going to find anyone who's like, I took the jab, but I still like Jake. I watch Jake, but I totally don't agree with him on the VA double X, and I totally took it and the booster. No, people who watch me are definitely going to be unjabbed. All right, guys. If you guys are still having fun, I see 147 thumbs up on the watch page. Why don't we get that to 175 thumbs up? Let's smash the thumbs up for the algorithm strokage. We talked about a lot of controversial subjects, so I know for sure they're going to say that this stream is not advertiser friendly because we said too many keywords. But that's fine. I don't care if it's not advertiser friendly. I still had a fun stream, and we talked about all sorts of different stuff. So if you could just at least smash the thumbs up so that they possibly don't completely shadow ban it. It just makes me feel better. Rose Bellman says no fake card either. Yeah, see, I had a friend of mine say that he could make me a fake VA double X card, but then that means like I'm going along with making it look like I was VA double X. So it's like I have to trick people and say, yeah, I did take it. So then if they ask me directly, did you take it? I have to be like, yeah. And to me, there's something I feel wrong about that. Like that bothers me too, to have to make a card and pretend that I was jabbed, right? See, even then I'm like, no, screw it. I'm proud of the fact that I'm that I didn't take it. I want everyone to know. I don't want them thinking that I that I did take it. David S says, my first $10 I played on slots. I was up $420. I cashed out and been on in the black on slots ever since. Wow, 420. How about that? Yeah, see, here's the thing. Most slot machines, it's just pure luck. However, there are some machines where you can build an advantage in the short run. And if somebody runs out of money or inexplicably walks away, the very next person who plays that machine can walk up and identify the advantage, play the advantage, and then quit once the advantage is gone. That's what I do. I only play if I have the advantage. And if I don't, then I don't play. So that means I walk around a lot and I check the denominations on only the advantage machines. And if there's an advantage, I play. And then when the advantage goes away, win or lose, then I'm done. And I walk till I find the next one. That's the only way you're going to make money on slot machines. And you have to be very well disciplined, and you have to know which ones are advantage machines, and you have to know how they work. And if you figure that out, well, then you can definitely turn the tables on the casino. But it's a job like anything else. You have to learn how to do it and put in the time and effort. So there's no easy way to beat the casino. If you're going to beat the casino, you still have to put in the time and effort. Sunflower says Trudeau is still vaguely threatening the return of restrictions if people aren't up to date on their jab status. Complete corruption. It's way worse in Canada. So things will definitely get worse in countries that don't have firearms the way that the US does. So Australia or Canada, them people are under a lot more control. And so they're more inclined to have the restrictions placed on them in a lot harsher restrictions. So you're definitely going to see like roadblocks and VAXX checks in the future, right? Where they'll just stop you from traveling to certain regions and not let you in unless you can prove that you've been VAXX. So that'll definitely ramp up in the future, and you'll see that shit going down. And in English-speaking countries under the British rule, right? The Queen's rule, the dead Queen's rule. So places like Canada, Australia, a lot more likely to see those harsher restrictions, more so than the U.S., where people still have their guns. PJCnet says Trudeau is a complete WEF puppet. Yeah, that guy is all kinds of evil. He's a total actor on the stage, and he is definitely playing his evil part. For sure. They like to have these figureheads out in front of every subject. So, like Bill Gates is a figurehead. Elon Musk is a figurehead. They aren't actually as rich or powerful as you think they are. They're just actors in front of a subject, basically. So Elon Musk doesn't run SpaceX. He doesn't own it. He's just a dude who gets your attention, right? So if you want to say something bad about SpaceX or Tesla, then you can aim it at the lightning rod puppet who they have out in front of the subject. So Trudeau or Joe Biden or Trump, these are all just puppets on the stage. They aren't the ones really in control. So Canadians will be like, Trudeau, he needs to go. No, no, no. Trudeau isn't the one doing anything. He's just a dude playing his evil part. Same way like Bill Gates is playing his evil part. It's not even the same original Bill Gates. So they have a different dude pretending to be Bill Gates. He's not actually out there running an evil plot or a scheme scam on the world. He's just a dude pretending to be Bill Gates. So same kind of deal. They have these figureheads and puppets in front of these subjects to make you think that like they're the ones in control. They're the ones doing this good thing or this bad thing. So if you dislike Bill Gates, then you aim your attention at him. And if you like Bill Gates or think he's smart or whatever, then you give him credit for being such a genius and stuff. When in reality, it's just a dude pretending to be who used to be Bill Gates. Right? G Hearts is all cuck puppets. Indeed, cuck puppets on the world stage. So any of you who still haven't figured it out, there's a giant play going on, and all the major celebrities and politicians and all the people on TV, they're in the big play. People like you or me, we're not in the big play. We don't get to be a part of it. So it's a giant world stage with a world play going on, and the people who look like they're powerful on the stage aren't the ones who are in charge. Joe Biden is not nearly as powerful as the Rothschild family. Trump, any of these guys are just pretend puppet guys for our amusement, to make it look like we have a choice in who's in charge. We don't. Oh, Jonna gave me a donation. Says this is for Rusty. Let me find it. I think I passed it. Here it is. Thank you, Jonna. Speaking of, where's he at? There he is. Sure. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on, Rusty. Come on. Come on. Come on. He's underneath my desk. Come on. Come out. Come out. People want to see you, Rusty. There he is. Oh, he was sleeping underneath my desk. There's the doogie. There's the precious Rusty. Look, Jonna sent you a donation, Rusty. The Rusties. Rusty is a dog, he's a good dog, and he's a frog, and it really is a good dog now. Mud on his face, big disgrace. Somebody better put him back into his place. There he is. You're the star, Rusty. Everybody loves Rusty. PJ CNET with a donation and dog emojis, which kind of looks like Rusty. Blue Dog says, leave that dog alone. Well, if somebody sends a donation and wants Rusty to make an appearance, it's not going to mess up his whole day if he wakes up from a nap and I put him in my lap. So does it look like he's having a terrible time? Thomas Krzepa says, your dog is eyeballing me. Don't you be eyeballing me, boy. You eyeballing me, boy. Don't you be eyeballing me. Joe Moore says, have you heard from Powerland? No, I haven't. I haven't talked to him in years and years. I haven't seen him post anything or do anything. I think he's pretty much gone the way of the dodo, kind of like old D Marble. They just basically fall off the map and are never heard from again. Joe Moore says, that's when you got Rusty. No, I had Rusty before I did Flat Earth stuff. So I've had Rusty before I even started doing the channel or before I even met him. Yeah, there was the one guy who's trying to act like I'm being mean to my dog because I woke him up from a nap and put him in my lap for a minute. Like, dude, get a life. Are you even a dog owner? Like, OJ and Toothpaste says, Mandela effect. What's your thoughts? I'm not a big Mandela guy. There's some of them that are weird and unexplainable to me. I'm a Bernstein Bears guy. I remember it being Bernstein and never Stain. Everyone at my school that I remember and teachers who ever read the book to us always said Steen. But my thing is like, I don't know what to do with that. I'm not going to like, oh my God, the Mandela effect. It was Steen and now it's Stain. Whoa! I can't freak out about it too much because it doesn't really do anything to my life. And I can't like me talking about it doesn't do anything. So all we can do is be like, yeah, that is weird. So I don't like the Mandela effect that like there's some of them that I can't really explain and it is weird, but none of them have ever affected me personally to where like something in my life is catastrophically different than it was before or whatever. You know, it's not like, you know, I used to live in Timbuktu and now I live in California and it didn't used to be like that. You know, it's like, it's not like my life has been altered in any way that I can think of. Enough. It's like these Mandela effects are like Chick-fil-A with a C and a K or just a C. Woo! I don't know. Right? So, yeah, Mandela effect. I've talked about it a little bit here and there, but I'm not like one of those channels that's like super dedicated to the subject and trying to like come up, you know, with all these new effects each stream. And so I know there's channels who like dedicate their whole thing to it, and just not enough evidence there for me to completely run with it. Lemongrass Roots says, what's your take on the Raiders storyline in the NFL? Why is there so much high hopes with the Raiders with their elite squad record as at 1-4? I don't know if there's that much high hopes. Raiders fans are loyal, and so they always stick with their team and think their team's going to be good every year, no matter what. But I would think that the Chiefs will still win that division, I would think. And so it looks like they're not going to win that division. I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs if they're starting 1-4. It looks like the Raiders might be like a 6-11 team this year, something like that. 7-10 maybe. So I think they'll pick up a few more wins down the way, but I don't think they're going to turn it around and make the playoffs. I don't think so. I mean, I know it's all rigged, so they could totally have a team start crappy and then win 5, 6, 7 in a row, easily. But I don't see a ton of storylines around them, so I would guess that they're more like basement dwellers in the AFC West. I could see the Broncos turning it around from having a losing season and then at the end getting into the playoffs before I could see the Raiders doing it. Foamfoot asks if there's any word from Thomas. Last I saw, he's living out of his van and just making retarded videos specifically to get views. So the last time I checked on his channel, he just uploads like shorts where he just is like trying to get views and subs by just uploading anything, no matter what it is. So he'll make a video where he's like, "Hi, I'm trying to get to 438 subs by the end of today. Please like and sub." And then he'll just like that's the video. So it's like is nothing just but trash that he puts out. He doesn't put out anything of substance. And it looks like his life has gone downhill quite a bit. It doesn't look like he's doing very well. So from a mental standpoint and a physical looks standpoint and his content, it just looks all bad. So I pretty much made the right move of getting rid of that guy. Only thing I miss about Thomas was that he was good at helping me record music. I'm not good at recording because it's like the software. I don't know how to use it. And so having to like figure out how to use all the software and then use it really good. It's like being a recording engineer isn't something I'm good at. Like I'm a musician, but I suck at being the engineer who records it all and mixes it all and stuff. So I have to like learn that from scratch if I want to do it. Whereas Thomas was really good at it. So if when we worked together, I could lay down a bass line and he could record it, mix it up with the drums, and fucking I could be like, "Here, turn this up, turn that down, make my vocal a little louder," and he could just be like and do all that for me. So when we worked together, I loved working on music with him, and also his music video skills were great. So working together on music, I miss him. Every other aspect of him, I'm glad he's gone. Every single aspect of his friendship, I'm glad he's gone. The only thing I miss is that I don't have a partner to help me with my own music. So basically, I just need to find a new recording partner who knows like about recording and mixing and knows how to record and mix rock bands and musicians and stuff. And that's the type of person I need to work with because, like I said, that's just not one of the things I'm really good at. It's not one of the things I learned, which I regret. And then to go back and try and learn it now from scratch is not easy either. Mark Kimsari says you might want to look into a program called Audacity, Jake. I'm sure if I took the time, watched videos, and sat there painstakingly and learned it, I could figure it out. It's just like I was used to just having somebody to help me do that shit and having us be like a team that could work on these songs and ideas. And so for me to have to do it all myself, like, this is a pain in the ass, but I guess that's something I should probably do if I really want to get back to making songs and videos and just do it all myself. Or unless I can find somebody to help me again. All right, let me put on a video real quick because I need to go use the restroom. And then I'll come back. I see people asking if I'll play some bass and shit. Maybe I'll play some bass in a minute. Let me put on like a song or something while I go use the restroom. Here's one I haven't put on in a while.
I don't believe in COVID. I don't believe in COVID. No, I don't believe in COVID, and that's why I'm gonna live forever. Yeah. I don't believe in COVID. No, I don't believe in COVID. No, I don't believe in COVID, and that's why I'm gonna live forever. Everybody is gonna die, but not me. I'm gonna stay alive. I'm gonna live until infinity because I do not let COVID bother me. You all have been watching way too much TV, and that is why you think I'm crazy because I don't believe in COVID. I don't believe in COVID. I don't believe in COVID, and that's why I'm gonna live forever.
BLM every single day. COVID, that's how I stay paid. And I want to butt Hillary Clinton on Epstein Island, but without children. George Clooney got my sloppy seconds. He let Maxwell taste my secret weapon. Mr. Beast, I'm your dad. Take the vaccine and wear your mask.
I don't believe in COVID. I don't believe in COVID. No, I don't believe in COVID, and that's why I'm gonna live forever. I don't believe in COVID. I don't believe in COVID. No, I don't believe in COVID, and that's why I'm gonna live forever. Your mama's gonna die, your dad is gonna die, your brother's gonna die, your sister's gonna die, your aunt is gonna die, your grandma's gonna die, your neighbor's gonna die, your dog is gonna die, your cat's gonna die, the sky is gonna die, that guy is gonna die. I'm gonna die. No, wait, I'm wrong. I'm gonna live forever because I don't believe in COVID, bitch. I don't believe in COVID. I don't believe in COVID. No, I don't believe in COVID, and that's why I'm gonna live forever. I don't believe in COVID. I don't believe in COVID. No, I don't believe in COVID, and that's why I'm gonna live forever. I don't believe in COVID. I don't believe in COVID. No, I don't believe in COVID, and that's why I'm gonna live forever. So at this point, before the song starts to blow, this is where we put the guitar solo. I don't believe in COVID. I don't believe in COVID. No, I don't believe in COVID, and that's why I'm gonna live forever. Yeah. I don't believe in COVID. I don't believe in COVID. No, I don't believe in COVID, and that's why I'm gonna live forever.
There we go. A little classic jam for you guys. See, that was the thing. That was what I loved about working with Thomas, is that he could help bring these songs to life, and then he would make the music videos, and then oftentimes he would work on these music videos, and I wouldn't see it for like a week, and then he'd hit me up and say, "Oh, I got it finished." I was like a kid on Christmas Day waking up and seeing the music video for the first time. So imagine being in a music video and waiting to see it, and then your friend makes this video, and then you see it for the first time and it looks like that, and it's like, holy shit. So So that's one thing I miss, is that I don't work with them anymore. But at the same time, like I said, I don't miss really much else about them. Rose Bellman said, "Thank you for the memories. This song gave me humor during evil times." Oh, well, I appreciate it. That's definitely where it came from. It came from a place of humor for me during a dark time as well. Rick Rold says, "Bro, it's been like a decade you've been in it." Well, I started this channel in 2016. So not quite a decade, but I'm getting there. All right. Break out the little bass jam here. Probably get my guitar strap straightened out. Son of a bitch. There. All right. All right. Let's take the bass out for a spin, shall we? There we go, a little bass jam. Phew. Rick Rolled says I still have my Tweaker Shelter shirt. Yeah, I need to get a new one too. This one's old. This one's years old. And it still looks okay. Hasn't faded too much. B. Lee, he says, with a bit of a toe jam. Yeah, that's one of my moves. Bring my foot up, do a little slapping at the end. Vanessa says that's awesome. Thank you. Scott Gorey says plays better on that new bass. Yeah, I'm finally getting used to this one now. It took me like several months to get used to it, and now I'm used to it. I got it set up where I want it, and it feels like home now. So now when I pick up my original bass, the one that I first bought, now that one feels weird. So each guitar, if you're a guitar player or a bass player, then you know like each one you buy feels different, and you can get used to playing one, and then you play a different one and it feels strange. And then you get used to playing that one and go back to playing your old one, and then that one feels strange. So anyway, yeah. Hot POS says no sound. No one else is saying that. Everyone else hears it. Huh. G Hart says need to get you an Ampeg and a pedal board. I used to have I have an Ampeg 3 Pro as my head. So I actually do have an Ampeg head right here. My speaker is a Trace Elliott speaker. I used to have an Ampeg 610 speaker, but it was just way too big, and I don't play in a full rock band anymore. So I got rid of the 610. I just have this 115 speaker down here. So basically, I have the Ampeg head and then a 115 speaker. And then I got 3 different basses. I do have different pedals and effects and stuff, but I just plugged that bass in clean because I actually like the way that one sounds without effects. Because I have different pedals and stuff. Here's my Crybaby wah. So I do have pedals, but I noticed with that Schecter right there that I actually prefer it to be just straight through. It seems like I get a nice solid clean bass tone, and whenever I start to add effects to it, it starts to sound weird. Whereas the Yamaha and the Ibanez, they sound better when I add effects to them than alone. So I love adding effects to my other basses, but the Schecter, I notice like if I add effects to it, it's almost like it diminishes the sound. I don't know. If you're a guitar player or a bass player, then that would make sense to you. All right, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I've been on here for over 3 hours. I'm a bit tired now, so I'll go ahead and get off here. Let you guys enjoy your weekend, and I'll try to live stream more often and do more of these chats where I talk to you guys and stuff. So definitely I'll try to do more of these because I haven't done as many live streams lately. But All right, guys, thank you for joining me. All the people who were here today, thank you for showing up. All the people who donated, thank you very, very much for the donations. I really do appreciate that, and so does Rusty. And anybody whose comment that I didn't get to or didn't read, don't feel bad. There's thousands of them, and I can only read so many. So if I didn't get to your comment, hopefully I get to it next time. And hopefully you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I will catch all of you guys next time. All right. Enjoy your rigged football Sunday. And I will catch you guys on the next stream. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Take care. Good night.